Massive is the only word you can use to describe some weapon systems. And I'm about to see some of the biggest, most powerful war machines ever created. I'm on a live fire mission aboard a fully loaded attack aircraft, the Spooky.
This is definitely going to be the biggest bullet I've ever fired.
Against this kind of muscle, you don't stand a chance. I take to the seas aboard the very first of a new class of warship. And I get to play with one of its hovercrafts.
Just keep it under 50. I got it.
I'll also be attempting a shot further than I've ever fired before with one of the greatest sniper rifles in the world. I'm Richard Mackles, a former Navy SEAL, and these are the future weapons that turn a simple offensive into a massive attack.
What's the one thing a special operations team wants in the air when they're on the ground and all hell breaks loose?
The answer? The ghostly figure of a Hercules attack aircraft. Nicknamed Spooky, this is the latest generation of the AC-130 gunship that first saw action back in Vietnam. The C-130 airframe was designed to transport troops and artillery to the front line. It was quickly realized that instead of just carrying the firepower, you could build it into the actual plane. And the A for attack was added to the C-130. Now, with improved armaments, avionics, battle management sensors, and countermeasures, all 13 AC-130Us are currently assigned to the Air Force Special Operations Command, based at Pearlbird Field in Florida. The reason I'm here is that the Spooky's current weapon systems are about to undergo a field test, and I've been granted exclusive access. In just a few hours, I'll be taking part in a highly charged mission to demonstrate the devastating firepower this mega gunship can unleash onto the battlefield.
Tell you what, fasten your seatbelts. When this baby blows, you're gonna feel it in this plane.
Nobody knows that better than the pilots, men like Captain Jay Womble, who's been flying Spooky for over 2 years.
All right, tell me a little bit about the tactical environment you have to operate in.
Typically, we'll work in a medium to low threat environment based on the capabilities of the aircraft, mostly at night, and we'll be blacked out to kind of protect the aircraft.
At 100 feet long, the plane represents a pretty big target, so it's equipped with the latest electronic countermeasures for protection against radar-guided threats. But even with all of this modern technology, Captain Womble reckons one of the best lines of defense is his crew.
Every crew member on the plane is very important, from the loadmaster to the right scanner. Guys are going to be looking outside the aircraft for potential threats coming up to give that comfort level to the rest of the guys so that they know they can do their job.
It's the Spooky's firepower that I'm really interested in. So, time for a quick rundown of the weapon systems, starting with the Gatling gun.
Right here we have the 25mm weapon system.
Aerial gunner Sergeant Jim Yoakum has already racked up 11 years of service on these gunships.
What's it like firing this bad boy?
It's amazing. When we do a 350 round burst, the airplane is just continually jarring. You can smell it. And our 350 round burst is what we like to call the crowd pleaser.
And if the crowd below demands an encore, there's plenty more to follow.
Now look at this monster over here. This is incredible. What's this?
Yeah, what we have here is a 105mm howitzer cannon. We carry 100 rounds of this on board. It's manually loaded. The firing rate for this is pretty much dependent on the individual gun crew. We like to shoot it at about 7 to 8 rounds a minute. And this is my personal favorite. It requires the most manual interaction and gives you the most bang for the bucks.
Depending on the mission, the Spooky's howitzer can fire rounds capable of everything from airburst to hard target penetrators.
We have one fuse on that has 2 settings. One is a point detonating setting, where once that round strikes a target and impacts, it'll detonate at that point, creating about 3,000 pieces of shrapnel. We also have the hardened impact penetrator, the hip round. As soon as it gets through that wall, it is going to detonate as well.
And between these two systems, the Spooky has until recently packed the 40mm Bofors cannon, which has been around since World War II. But I'm lucky enough to see the weapon that's about to replace it, the brand new Bushmaster II Mark 46 chain gun.
This sleek, mean-looking barrel is the latest upgrade on Spooky. It fires 30mm rounds, 200 of them in a minute.
The Bushmaster has already seen action with the Marines and will soon be ready for the Air Force. Future Spookies will be armed with twin Bushmasters, doubling the firepower and making life a lot easier for the maintenance guys on the ground.
If I had to order a bolt for a 40, it's going to take me a couple weeks to get. This is a brand new system. It'll be there. It'll be accessible. I'll be able to get that aircraft off the ground faster so we can put lead on target.
The Bushmaster's smaller round doesn't compromise on lethality. Far from it.
We're getting a lot of lethality because it'll give us a better standoff. And it'll give us more accuracy when they go to shoot.
But the refinements don't stop there. Spooky is also being lined up to carry a GPS-guided gliding munition, very similar to JDAM.
The ability to fly into the target is the key aspect of this weapon.
Former Spooky gunner Bill Walter now develops advanced weapon systems for the Air Force Special Operations Command.
Even when you've got precision or near precision with a JDAM, you still have a rather large warhead. This is 47 pounds. This can be used in much tighter constraint, much smaller areas without having to worry about collateral damage in the targeted area. Anybody can put down 1 kilo warheads all day long, and it's not going to really matter if you don't hit the target. Therefore, the guidance, the wings, the fins, all the stabilization, and the ability to fly into the target is the key aspect of this weapon. Focus lethality. Put it right on the target.